Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady. There are 6 new stories waiting for us today, so I hope you're ready for a new portion of Karen, and let's get started. I just want to do my laundry. I'm doing my weekly laundry when this older guy said, "Hey," and waved me over. Now, I use this laundromat regularly, and there's often questions about using the machines from new people. Myself and a few other regulars are usually happy to help newbies. By the way, I'm on mobile and can't get it to format right, so I'm sorry for the wall of text. This new guy was in front of a brand new digital dryer that requires you to tell it how much time you want before you put in the money. Like it gives you on-screen step-by-step instructions. Guy: "How's this work?" Me: "You tell it your temperature and how much time, then put the money in." And he cut me off. "No, I already put $1 in, just make it go." You don't put the money in until it tells..." He cut me off again. "I have to put $1 in to make it do anything. This is stupid. It doesn't ask for money up front." He just didn't pay attention. Whatever. I was done being helpful. So I walk away because, screw you, dude. Sorry, can't help. "How do I get my time on it?" "Maybe go ask the attendant. She's in the other room." "Why don't you give me $1? Motion towards my bag of quarters. "No, I don't work here." And I went back to loading my own dryer. So the guy got all huffy and stomped over to the attendant. She set him up, gave him $1 to shut him up, and walked away. And he muttered, "Customer service here sucks." She helped you and paid the $1 for you. What more do you want? You could have helped me. I don't work here. I tried to be nice, customer to customer, but you're being a jerk, and jerks can fend for themselves. The guy suddenly realized that I was an actual customer. Couldn't come up with a good comeback, and walked away. I'm currently in my car watching him chain smoke on the sidewalk. Idiot. If he'd followed the instructions, he would have been fine, but he had to prove he was smarter than the machine, and failed. Also, don't be rude to people, especially people trying to help you. I'm not a working girl. Obligatory on mobile, please forgive any errors. I've been lurking here for a really long time and realized this story is kind of relevant. And funny nonetheless. So, when I was 22, I moved to Las Vegas for college and to escape my dysfunctional family. Every so often, my friends would come visit and we'd go to the Strip. One such friend would come every few months to gamble, like a lot, so the dealers would get to know him quickly. I should add that before I moved away, we were friends with benefits. This is important for later. Now, he's also just naturally friendly and a talkative guy. He can talk to anyone for hours about anything. He's also very affectionate, so some people can confuse that with flirting. The night before I met up with him, he was gambling at the craps table. Some working girls, aka hookers, were being flirty and friendly with him because they saw he was spending and winning a lot of money. He didn't realize what was going on because he was just being his chatty, friendly self. Security recognized these girls and noticed what was going on, so they were trespassed from the hotel, which happens all the time in Vegas. The night that I met up with him, I pulled out all the stops. Sexy dress, knee-high boots, all made up, etc. Going to the Strip was a fun excuse to get all dolled up. Now, I'm in no way a skinny girl, but I do know how to dress appropriately for my size and accentuate what I've got. We'd still hook up when he came to town, so we were still very affectionate when we saw each other. We were drinking and bar hopping at different bars in one upscale hotel. Then he wanted to hit a craps table. Can't remember if he went to the same dealer or the same section, but he was doing his thing and I was hanging all over him, being my drunk self. Security was apparently watching us and I raised some red flags. They thought I was a hooker. Security approached us and asked some questions about me. My friend assured him we were friends from back home and they went on their way. We still laugh about it to this day because I never would have thought I would look like a working girl. There is no manager. This is a school. I'm a student. This happened several years ago when I was a student at a culinary school. My school was located in Napa Valley and was a bit of a tourist trap, whether for our restaurant or because the school itself was a converted winery. We got used to tourists wandering around making jerks of themselves. Now, behind the school was a road people would park on to make deliveries without taking up a parking spot in our inadequately small parking lot. It's not an exit, just a loop back into the parking lot. It also happens to go right past the teaching kitchens. Now our cast. Me, yours truly. AM, angry man. Chef, the chef instructor in the kitchen at the moment. AM, bursting into the teaching kitchen for whatever reason, zooming in on me. I need a manager. Get me a manager. I just stared blankly. Get me a damn manager. There are no managers. You get the damn manager and make them move the car in the effing exit. Me, there are no managers. This is a school. You can talk to my chef, I guess. The chef was laughing and I saw him power walk away. Thanks, chef. I don't want an effing chef. Give me your manager right now or there'll be hell to pay. I then realized this guy was an idiot. There are no managers. This is a school. We're students. I can't help you. He then seemed to wilt, then built up steam in an effed up, I'm going to power through and pretend I'm right to save face kind of way. Do you know how much money I spent on this vacation? Get me a manager before you ruin it. I decided, F it, let's throw down. You know how much I'm spending on my education? Because I guarantee you it's more than your effing vacation. Get out of the kitchen before I call security. Then I walked the F away. He then proceeded to throw a fit, and no one else would talk to him until security arrived. Apparently my chef abandoned me to call them. I have other stories, but they're all pretty tame. This has been my only dramatic I don't work here story. She got off the bus in front of you. This happened to me some years ago. I'd come into a tiny bit of money, not a lot, but enough to go to Disneyland, provided I took Greyhound to save a bit of money. So the bus makes a stop at this gas station / convenience store for a short stop. I forget how long. I was wearing a pair of blue jean shorts and a t-shirt. I think it had a picture of the X-Man Cyclops on it, but it might have been just a plain old black shirt. So I was standing in line to pay for some candy bars when this guy stormed up to me. There's no coffee. I was like, what? The guy's like, make some. I'm like, I don't work here. I thought this was the end of it. As I put my candy on the counter to pay for it, the guy then yelled at the girl behind the counter that I was rude and should be fired. Cashier says, she doesn't work here. I'll make you a pot of coffee now, sir. So the guy screamed that we were both lazy, even though an actual employee just said she would make coffee. I rolled my eyes because, what else are you going to do? At this point, the driver of the Greyhound bus came over and asked what seemed to be the problem. The guy says, that B-word, pointing at me, is refusing to make me coffee and lying about working here. You shouldn't make rest stops at places with rude employees. The bus driver looked at me. I was shaking and near tears. I hate being yelled at. And goes crimson. Now this I remember clearly. He whirls around on the guy and yells, she got off the bus right in front of you. Are you stupid? Shut up and stop harassing the customers. The look on the guy's face was worth it all. The time I got fired from the place I didn't work at. About 2 years ago, I was browsing through the aisles of a small store while I waited for my ride to show up. I overheard this old couple struggling to understand the tags on the shelves. They were tourists, and they didn't speak Spanish, my native language. I walked up to them, let them know that I speak English, and offered to help them find whatever they were looking for. I spent about 15 minutes talking to them, explaining what brands to get, and helping them get their money ready so they wouldn't need any change. Some people like to take advantage of tourists and give them the wrong amount of change since they aren't familiar with the local currency. After I'm done helping them, I go back outside to smoke a cigarette while I continue to wait for my ride. This lady comes outside and started lecturing me. You know that employees are not allowed to just leave the store. You can only smoke during your lunch break. Your hair's too long and isn't a good look for the store. You're fired. Apparently she saw me helping the couple and assumed I was one of her employees. I simply waited for her to be done and told her, first of all, my hair's perfectly fine, thank you. But most importantly, I don't work here. I was helping these tourists since none of your employees can speak a single word in English. You're effing welcome. She stood there looking at me, unable to come up with something to say. The look on her face still makes me laugh out loud to this day. Ma'am, I'm not old enough to work here. Obligatory disclaimer. This happened when I was much younger, so I honestly can't remember the name of the location where it happened. I do know there's no longer a hardware store in that location, though. I'm not entirely sure there's even a building there anymore. To explain the setting as quickly as possible, this occurred when I was probably 13 or 14, over 20 years ago, hence the bit of fogginess in the memory. I was at a hardware store in the city with my dad because I wanted to buy some things for a treehouse I wanted to build. My parents' policy for when my sister and I wanted to buy things was we had to justify our purchase before they'd let us have the money. It was our money, which we'd earned via things like can collecting, but they carried it because, well, we were kids and tended to lose things. So I was by the rope for sale with my dad and explaining why I wanted to get the more expensive package of rope over the cheaper but not quite right one when this lady came up to us. Lady will be lady, and I will be me. Lady: where's the plumbing section? Me: in jeans and old t-shirt, nothing at all like a uniform worn by an employee, ignoring her because I had no reason to think she was talking to me. So I like this one more because, lady: miss, I'm talking to you. Me, turning around very confused. Hi. Lady: where's the plumbing section? Me: I don't know. Lady, now frowning at me: why not? Me: because I don't work here. Lady: then why are you helping that man? Me: this is my dad. I'm not even old enough to get a job. Please find an employee to help you. Lady: well, you don't have to be rude about it. And she walked off. Me, turning back to my dad: you could have said something. My dad's reaction to the whole thing was to laugh at me and ask why I didn't help her. At the time, I didn't think it was funny at all, but I was probably just more upset at my dad for being quiet instead of helping than laughing at me. At least the lady was just irritated and left instead of getting mad at me for embarrassing her, I guess. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.